Hey everybody, it's Paul and Alicia from the Anderson team. It is Tuesday, February, what is it, 16th? 16th, Tuesday, February 16th. That's the day. We are so excited to be having this call with our good friend and business partner, Jill Sheldon from Jill Sheldon & Co. Home Loans, part of CMG Financial, the best lender in the town. You don't want to miss it. We have so many questions today, and we are going to just start peppering her with questions. Are you ready, Jill?
I'm totally ready.
Okay, because it is 2021. I think it's been a few months since we've done one of these Zoom calls with Jill. I think we talk to Jill like every day. And so we get the pleasure of asking her all these crazy questions. But I was like, man, so much has changed since I think it was right before Christmas that we had our last call that we shared out with the world. We're in a new administration. So let's preface, this is not a political conversation, whether you're Republican or Democrat. That has nothing to do with this. We're talking about what is going on in the lending market. And now we have a Democrat in office. It's a new administration, complete switch from what we had just a few short months ago. We have a vaccine that's rolling out for a pandemic. So there's a future hope of what is happening. Maybe we can get back to life as normal, whatever that normal looks like. So I want to start off just in a broad general sense. Jill, what is your outlook for 2021 with everything that's transpired and changed? Where do you think we are and where do you think things are going?
Absolutely. Well, how did we get here? Just like a quick brief overview of like we got to these rate levels because of everything that happened. Obviously, we've all talked about until we're blue in the face. But what drove it was uncertainty and fear in the market, instability, and rates just went. So where we're at now is a result of that fear and instability and how many homeowners we've been able to help and people have been able to benefit from these low rates is just like, it's beyond words. So that's like a huge silver lining to everything of 2020. Where we're at now and where we're going, is it's a question that's on everybody's mind because yes, when things change, politically in the country, there's always two perspectives, right? So I always try and say, what are the facts and what do we know historically? What drives interest rates? And what that is when the market starts to feel stable again. When everything that we have seen adjust down and things start to stabilize out in not only the stock market and the bond market, but just in the global economy as a whole,
Yeah.
we start to see, people are more, coronavirus is getting more under control. More people are going back to work in a regular work environment. People are traveling again, able to eat out. Money is going into the economy. Those type of things traditionally take out coronavirus. You normally will see rates start to go up when the
Yeah.
stock market feels things are going to be more stable. Now, the Feds met recently and talked about not wanting to change anything in the short run. They're not changing the Fed funds rate. They're going to keep the same policy that they have been enacting over the last few months, which is to stabilize and support the mortgage market. So rates should stay low for a decent amount of time, not the long run. I imagine over the next 6 months, we're going to see them continue to tick up. January and February, we saw a little bit of a roller coaster with the political climates and everything going on. There was just some differences than what we had gotten accustomed to over the last 4 months previous, where things were a little bit more
So real
stable.
quick, I'm going to interrupt you. Sorry. Real quick, like 30-year fixed rate, just average decent credit kind of loan. What are your rates right now? Like if I were to go and want to pull a conventional, say 5% down, something like that.
Yeah, conventional 5% down, 740 FICO, not buying your interest rate down. You're looking at about 2.75
Which
on a
is
30-year
That's
fix.
awesome.
which is ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah,
rewind to what was it?
Yeah.
2018, we were north of four, right? Four and a half,
Yeah.
something like that.
And then investment property, what would that be at if you were to purchase an additional investment home?
yeah, so that's kind of the unique thing because normally there's a very big spread in the rate sheet for a rental versus a primary. And when I checked last on a rental on Friday, because the markets were closed yesterday, someone putting 25% down, 740 FICO, their rate was 2.99%, and it was just under
Wow.
1 point to buy the rate down. On the rental market, you don't really want to go with a no point option where you're not paying for the rate because it just you get your rate down under 3% on a rental. Like
Wow.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
never happened before.
That's
You
It's
want
ridiculous.
that's
amazing.
cash
To
flow.
lock in for that.
And you've heard Alicia and I, everybody watching, you've heard us talk
Yes.
about this. We're big advocates of owning rental
Mhm.
property. We do it ourselves. We practice what we preach. We don't
Yes.
tell you just to go buy property because we want to sell you property. We want to help you create financial freedom. So those interest rates for
Yes.
rentals are amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely
Very
crazy.
exciting. They will not stay forever. So it's a wonderful time for people that have been really sitting on the fence, not sure whether they want to buy personally or maybe they weren't quite ready. Now is a very good time to look before things change because they will change. It's just a matter of how soon.
So I'll kind of ask a question that maybe there's not a good answer to, but I feel like we've been saying this as a broken record now for a year almost, right? We're at the year anniversary of the pandemic, where I feel like we've been saying, man, interest rates can't get any better, and I kind of feel like, man, we keep saying that, but I think we're finally at that point where they can't get any better, short of some crazy other pandemic on top of the pandemic, or who knows? You know, I mean, I've learned never to guess.
Don't say that.
Right? I don't want to guess anything. But so you mentioned fear and instability drive interest rates down. I wrote that down. You said that because I'm like, man, that's such a good statement. So as things start to become more normalized, interest rates likely are going to start to go back up. Probably not dramatically, but definitely have an impact on the market. Okay, one more question I want to throw at your way: forbearance and what you see out there, and what options are for clients that maybe are thinking about forbearance, in forbearance.
How that affects them getting a loan.
Yeah.
We've had that come up a lot. They want to buy, but they are in forbearance on another property.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. Every lending product's a little different, and I won't go into the weeds of it, but it doesn't necessarily take you out of purchasing. So it's just a conversation with your lender up front when your credit's pulled, of the different options of how we get out of forbearance and make it to where you're ready to be able to purchase as quickly as possible.
That's
But
awesome.
it's
So it's
certainly
not
not a
like
deal
a
killer.
short sale back in the day where it's like if you had a
No.
short sale or foreclosure, you have X amount of years of waiting time. You can just clear it and get right back in the market. So
In
that's
most cases,
awesome.
there's little nuances, but I have not had it affect any clients that we haven't been able to maneuver around.
That's
It's
awesome.
awesome.
So no matter what your situation is, this
Yes.
is still the great time. Look, we've been talking a lot about low inventory and the high demand.
Yes.
So it's a competitive market. I mean, we're not going to hold any punches back. It's a competitive market. But our team with Jill, we have been so successful at getting our clients into homes and taking advantage of these low rates, because
Yes.
it changes your buying power dramatically.
Absolutely. It's worth it to get out there and compete, because I think a lot of people recognize it is a great time to buy and lock in on a property with these rates.
And if you wait and let's say interest rates go up 0.5%, that's a significant difference on your mortgage payment on a $350,000, $400,000 home. That's a lot. It adds up to your monthly budget and what you can afford. And with home prices rising, Phoenix at 13% over the last year, every year, it's a good time to buy. It's also a great time to refi. If you have not refied, talk to Jill. Hey, Jill, give everybody your number. How can people reach you?
Absolutely. Call, text, or email. ESP, I'm working on that. So hopefully at some point I can integrate that into my business plan. My number, though, is 480-766-3815 or jillsheldon.com.
There you go. So everybody, if you have
Awesome.
any questions, reach out. You got anything else, Alicia?
Just our fun tagline that we always have to end with.
Hey, well, before we do that, thank you, Jill. Appreciate
you,
your time.
Jill.
If you have questions on where the mortgage industry is going, what's happening with fund rates, reach out to Jill. Send us a message, reply, comment, do whatever means you have. We'll reach out. We're here to help you out. And everybody remember, make it
A smart move.